Good morning. Hey, I am Steve Weber. Welcome to the American Gumption Morning Show. Today is Tuesday, June 1st. June 1st, another whole month, another brand new month, 5 months down, 7 months to go. This is the 6th month of the year, 2021. So June 1st, show number 182. All righty. Well, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. The unofficial start of summer. Summer officially starts in a couple of weeks on June 20th. Sunday, June 20th is the official first day of summer. So this year, this spring is almost over too. So yeah. So anyway, I had a great weekend. Did a little bit of work, did a little bit of relaxing, did a little bit of reading, and yeah, it was a great weekend. So I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Also, it's kind of cold and rainy here in the northeast part of the country, but today is a beautiful day. It's getting warm again, and so unfortunately for the holidayers, the weather didn't cooperate very much. But it was actually turned out to be, we needed rain and good weekend. So, alrighty. So June 1st, show number 182. No guest today. I'm going to do a monologue only, and I'm going to continue the theme that I started about the last couple of weeks. But specifically, I'm going to follow up on the idea of the topic categories, the things that we specifically talk about, and I'm going to introduce today the idea of gumption being really the overview of all of the different themes that I created 8 themes, so I'll get into that, and I'm going to talk about my thinking is how it's already evolving. So it's funny, once you say something out loud, it kind of it solidifies, or it makes it more real. I guess that's what I wanted to say. Once you say something, once you speak something out loud and you share it, as I get an opportunity to do 4 or 5 days a week here on the American Gumption Morning Show, once you say something and put it out there, it becomes more real. And once that realness starts to take hold, you start to look at it. At least I start to look at it and I go, gee, is that really, what I believe? And, I put it out there with my best intentions that it's what I believe, but, it's like, it kind of makes it a little more real where you go, gee, do I really, really believe that? Or do I want to modify it a little bit? So I'm kind of modifying that a little bit, and I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that with you. So, all righty. So before we get started, we see Madeline checking in and saying howdy. Hi, Madeline. Not sure where you're coming from in what part of the world you're at, but welcome to the American Gumption Morning Show. I'm going to talk about gumption this morning. All righty. So really that's it. But before I do that, though, let me just tell you what's going to happen the next couple of days, because we got shows scheduled Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So and guests each day. So I'll tell you what's happening this week, the first week of June. All right. So tomorrow, Wednesday, Pam Garand is going to join us. She was scheduled. She appeared about 6 weeks ago. She was scheduled 2 weeks ago, and we had internet problems on my end, and I wasn't able to broadcast the show. So she has graciously agreed to come and reschedule for tomorrow. So we're going to talk about synchro destinies. So, we all know what a synchronicity is. Well, we're going to explain what a synchro destiny is. So we'll just save that. And that's what's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a fun conversation. On Thursday, Shani Alvarez comes back, and she, We Are One is her book. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to talk about the yin and the yang of the masculine, feminine, and also other connections that she sees as the world heals and becomes a more mature and a more enlightened place. And so that's going to be a fun conversation. So that's going to be on Thursday. And then Friday, Gwen Peterson, who is the founder of Spiritual Communities Network, she is going to also return. We talked about the Spiritual Communities Network the first time she visited us. This time, we're going to talk about her specific brand, Insights and Illuminations, and how she mentors people, and primarily women, in terms of figuring out their business, their soul purpose, their life's purpose, their business purpose. And so anyway, her brand is Insights and Illumination. So we'll talk about that on Friday. All righty. So now here is today's monologue. Again, is the Gumption Overview is what I'm calling it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. There we go. And I can turn that off. So basically what I did a couple of weeks ago was I laid out, and you'll remember this chart. There we go. This chart right here where I had American Gumption topics in the middle, and then I came up with 8 separate topics. It's a little hard to see that. Let me switch it to this view here. There we go. You can maybe see that a little better. And then, but anyway, gumption, learning, and it goes all the way around. But gumption is what I'm going to specifically talk about today. And I have the 3 ideas: the gumption, the definition, the dictionary definition, the 3 principles of gumption or personal responsibility, and then the life lessons from the movie Opportunity Choice Journey. And so I'm going to expand on that idea a little bit. But as I expand on it, I want to introduce one idea, and that is that this particular one of 8, I'm rethinking it. I haven't decided this yet. I haven't updated it yet. But what if that goes right smack in the middle? What if gumption belongs right in the middle of it, and these 7 other that are remaining, they become the outside pieces of it? And I had American Gumption topics just in there. Well, what if gumption really is what this is all about? I think that's really the direction that I'm going. So that's the spirit of me going into deeper depth as far as gumption goes today. All righty, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So basically, we're talking about the Gumption Overview and those 3 different areas that I mentioned. So the definition, the dictionary definition of gumption, personal responsibility, or the 3 life lessons, or I'm sorry, the 3 principles of gumption, which are personal responsibility, and then the 3 life lessons from the movie. So coincidentally and ironically, we have 3, 3, 3. We have 3 dictionary definitions, 3 different kind of subtle differences in terms of what gumption could mean from the dictionary. Gosh, some words have 20, 30 different definitions, meanings. Well, gumption actually has 3. And then personal responsibility, the 3 principles of gumption: thoughts, actions, interactions, and then the 3 life lessons from the movie Opportunity, Choice, and Journey. All right, so let's dive into it. And really what I'm doing in this overview is I'm taking those 3 separate concepts and I'm combining them all into one idea. And so those 3 concepts are the definition from the dictionary, and then the personal responsibility, the 3 principles of gumption, and the 3 movie life lessons, the 3 life lessons from the movie Forrest Gump. All righty, so jumping right into it, here's just another way to do it. But imagine that you have the 3 different the 3 concepts. So you have definition, you have personal responsibility, and then movie life lessons. And each one of those has 3 separate ideas: 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's where we're going with this. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to watch the whole video today, which I expect to be about 20 minutes long, you can just watch the next couple of slides. So dictionary definition is initiative, courage, and common sense. Initiative, courage, and common sense. For if you look up gumption in the dictionary, those are going to be the what you're going to find. And then the personal responsibility. And this was my definition of gumption that I kind of created for my own for my sharing and for the keynotes that I've done for the last 10 years. And I really talked about taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and interactions with others, the 3 principles of gumption. And I'll talk a little bit about that in detail. And then finally, the 3 life lessons from movie, Opportunities, Choice, and Journey: the feather, the chocolate box, and the Nike shoe, representing the opportunities, the choice that you make, and the journey of life, or the life chapters. All righty, so let's go ahead and expand that just a little bit more, or go into the detail just a little bit more. So gumption defined, again, courage, initiative, courage, and common sense. So we'll just go through them one at a time. So initiative, aggressiveness, or resourcefulness, that's the first definition of gumption that you'll find in the dictionary. So I think of this as Somebody here, let me put myself back in this other spot here. There we go. I think of initiative and aggressiveness and resourcefulness as somebody who gets things done. It's really about taking action. It's not taking no for an answer. And it's kind of like a little bit like the bull in the china closet who's just going to make it happen, get something done, not take no for an answer, just make it happen. That's someone who has gumption. That's what the first definition in my way of thinking goes. All righty. So then the next one is courage, spunk, guts. This is somebody this is about your fears. This is about overcoming your fears. This is about whoops, let's see. I jumped ahead here. There we go. Back to that. Okay. Sorry about that. Courage, spunk, guts. This is that internal battle that we have in our mind where the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, the ego, gets like in the way of getting something done. So when you have you have a difficult task in front of you, you might say, I'm going to go do this. But then your subconscious mind, your ego says, you don't want to go do that. It's too hard to do. Well, you might get hurt. It couldn't work out. Maybe somebody won't agree with you. Maybe you'll get in trouble if you do it. It's that I think of someone with gumption who has the internal fortitude to overcome the fears that the subconscious, that the egoic mind have, and just it takes gumption to plow ahead when you're when your ego and your mind is saying no, don't do it. So I think of that as that internal battle that happens inside, in between the two ears there. There you go. And then finally, the last one is common sense or shrewdness, and this one is all about using that frontal lobe, using your common sense, using your thinking brain to figure things out, being clever, and not like looking for the book answer, or not looking for permission from someone else, or not even permission, looking for the answer from somebody else, but rather coming up with the answer yourself. So it's like it's kind of that thinking brain and that ability to just, again, not take no for an answer, but instead of using action, which is more of that number one definition, initiative, it's more of that, the mental part, the thinking part, and figuring it out, being clever in getting, and figuring out what the next step in the action is to go forward. All right. So there you are, initiative, courage, and action. Now let's move on to the second major component. So the first one was the dictionary definition. And then now the second one is this personal responsibility. And these are what I call the three principles of gumption. And the backstory on these is that 2007-8, I decided I'm going to become a speaker, and I want to talk about personal responsibility. And I had a coach who said to me, no organization will pay you to talk about personal responsibility. You got to talk about sales or marketing or some other kind of a concept like that, but you can't talk about personal responsibility. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. That's really, well, we weren't as evolved. We weren't as open. Maybe the business world was just like nuts and bolts and didn't care about the soft skills in terms of like personal responsibility, but wanted to, so anyway, maybe kind of an old school coach that I had and got myself involved with. So I said, all right, I won't talk about personal responsibility. I'll talk about gumption. And I essentially redefined gumption to mean the way you think, your mindset, the way you act, moxie, and the way you interact with others, graciousness. And so I sort of just made up my own definition of gumption. But now the three principles of gumption are basically that personal responsibility, taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and interactions with others. All righty. And the first one is mindset. How do you think? What is your attitude, your thoughts, and positivity is probably the word that comes to mind the most for me. But it's that can-do attitude, making things happen. And everything starts with with Gumption. And I have the logo. I don't have that in this little presentation, but the idea, the big gear in the middle and the little gear, which represents the second one, the moxie, the actions, and then the third gear off to the side is the interacting with others. So essentially, though, let's go back one more time. Mindset is how you think. It's your thoughts, your attitude. It's positivity. Moxie is how you act, and that's really, act is like the actions that you take, and those are the things that you have to do to be successful in everyday life, and they're not necessarily the things you want to do, but do you attack them with enthusiasm and initiative and getting it done because they have to be done, or do you kind of go through it with like drudgery and not such enthusiasm? But we who have gumption, we do it with enthusiasm. And then finally, graciousness. How do you interact with others? Are you helpful? Are you kind? Are you serving others on a regular basis? So it's really that ultimate personal responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and interactions with others. You're not a victim. You're in charge of your life. You're in control. And other people, you can't blame other people. You can't blame circumstances, because you're 100% personally responsible for those thoughts, actions, and interactions with others. All righty. So finally, the third one is the movie life lessons. And I always thought of this as kind of a separate thing, but because I blended them over the last 10 years, but still kind of kept them separate. The movie life lessons were separate than the principles of gumption. Here in this American Gumption project, and if we talk about a wide variety of things, this is a variety show. If we want to, where do the movie life lessons fit in? Well, I decided they need to fit in with Gumption, and they need to be part of it. And so, and they of course are the feather. The feather comes down and lands at the foot of Forrest Gump. That represents the opportunities that come into our lives. The chocolate box. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's the line from the movie. But we turn that line around a little bit, and we say life is like a box of chocolates. You get to choose whatever chocolate you want. You get to choose whatever life you want. So life is like a box of chocolates. You get to pick whatever chocolate you want. You're in charge. You get to choose. We don't say you never know what you're going to get. We say you get to choose. You get to pick. And then finally, the Nike shoe represents the journey of life and the life chapters that Forrest Gump went through, but that we all go through. And I've showed and shared those slides, but again, not in this presentation, just because I'm trying to combine all of these things together into one concept of gumption, which is the overriding theme. So again, that feather, I kind of stole my thunder with that. The feather represents those opportunities that float into our lives. If you remember at the beginning of the movie Forrest Gump, the feather floated out of the sky. He landed at his foot. He reached down and picked it up. Now with the law of attraction, we actually attract those feathers. We attract the opportunities that we get into our lives, and we get to pick them up, and we get to decide which ones we want to act upon. And of course, the same thing with the chocolate box. It's all about choice. We get to choose. Law of attraction, again, is all about our choices. So the feather and the chocolate box, very closely related. I guess the difference being that the opportunities are more external, and the chocolate box is more the internal in terms of us, deciding what it is we want to do with it. And the feather represents those external things that come into our lives. Alrighty, and then finally, the Nike shoe represents that journey of life and the life chapters. And again, I have many slides on that I've shared in the past, but not going to get into that today. Alrighty, there it is: feather, chocolate box, Nike shoe, opportunities, choice, and journey of life. Alrighty, now kind of wrapping up here. So if you have the definition, and so we have the 9 specific areas, because each of the 3 different main concepts have 3 specific ideas. So the definition is initiative, courage, and common sense. And then the personal responsibility is thoughts, actions, and interactions. And finally, the movie life lessons are the opportunities, choice, and journey. And there they are all on the left. You can see the 3 main concepts: the dictionary definition, the personal responsibility, the 3 principles of gumption, personal responsibility, and then the movie life lessons, the 3 life lessons: the feather, chocolate box, and the Nike shoe, opportunities, choice, and journey. So all told, let's go back one more. All told, that becomes the 9 specifics. So if I go back to that very first slide that I showed you, where gumption was one of 8 categories and topics that we talk about. Well, if we move gumption right into the middle, and then we have those 7 other categories floating around, supporting, and that means that every conversation and every topic that we talk about is going to have one of these, and probably more of these topics that we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about initiative, courage, common sense, thought, responsibility for your thoughts, actions, interactions with others, and then the opportunities and the choices that we make and the journey of life. And so that is really, I think that's probably what American Gumption is going to be. Not only the American Gumption Morning Show, but the American Gumption Project. These other shows that come out of this the project, in terms of me traveling around the country, some kind of an in-person long form interview show, in addition to the American Gumption Morning Show, where it's more spontaneous and more off the cuff, and then the produced videos, which is going to be forthcoming, and then finally the virtual reality or the travelogue idea, where we're traveling around, we're seeing people, we're seeing different parts of the country, we're experiencing this, and in each and every case, we're going to be talking about someone who takes initiative, has courage, has common sense, someone who takes responsibility for their thoughts, their actions, their interactions with others, and someone who recognizes the opportunities that comes into their life, makes the choices, is aggressively, or is initiating, the things that are happening. And then finally, they're enjoying that journey of life. They're in the current moment, present moment, and they're aware, and they're aware when they shift from one life chapter to the next. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about this morning. I just wanted to present the idea that the gumption. What is gumption? Well, it's not just the 3 principles of gumption, and it's not just the dictionary definition of gumption, and it's not just the life lessons that we can learn from the movie Forrest Gump, but rather it's like all of those together. And if we do say it's all of those together, then it's initiative, courage, common sense, thoughts, actions, interactions, and finally opportunities, choice, and journey. And I just think that summarizes what this is all about. So I'm really feeling like I need to update that topics thing, and make it, instead of 8 different topics with this bullet in the middle saying, with the bullet, the circle in the middle saying that that's the topics. Rather, this is the topic. This is the core. Gumption, these are the specifics, the 9 specifics. And this is what this show is all about, and will be about, for the next, many years going forward. So, that was kind of fun. That's really it. I think that's all I wanted to share with you this morning. Just kind of give a quick overview. I think this is going to end up being something that that I do this specific presentation again, and I keep refining it, because really what it is, it's a combination of the keynote that I've given for the last 10 years to organizations all around the country and around the world, about the gumption principles. And yet now I feel like it's all kind of coming together and all making more sense. And then those other, 7 topics that will remain outside of the 7 topics. I had 8 topics, but I'm saying, okay, gumption really belongs right smack in the middle. So that's it. That's it, everybody. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of excited about this. I feel like I'm making, I'm getting more and more clarity every day. So thank you. Bettina says, comes from us from Seattle. As always, she says that she loved this monologue. Thank you, Bettina. Yeah, this has been something that's been brewing in terms of me, figuring out. And it's funny. This is like, some of these are 10-year-old ideas that are finally now like like making more sense. And this is the way our life, this is the journey of life. This is that number 9 principle, the journey of life, because it just keeps evolving. And the earlier chapters didn't have it like all kind of wrapped together. Of course, earlier chapters didn't have the American Gumption Morning Show. So there we go. All righty. Well, that's it. Have a great rest of your week. Tomorrow, I have Pam Durand going to join us, and we're going to talk about Synchrodestiny. Synchrodestiny is a book that Deepak Chopra wrote, and I think 2004, roughly that time frame. But it's basically like the synchronicities. It's the coincidences that happen. But are they really coincidences, or are they more like synchrodestinies? That's his argument. And Pam has met Deepak, and Pam had her own synchrodestiny with Deepak, and she's going to share that story, and we'll just talk about how that happens in your life. So that's going to be a fun conversation tomorrow. Shani Alvarez on Thursday, welcoming her back, and we're going to talk about the yin and the yang of the masculine and the feminine, and then the Jews and the Gentiles, and her vision of how things are coming back together. Things have been separated, but things are coming back together. And she's got a great, she's introducing some ideas that I haven't heard anybody else talking about. So we'll talk about that on Thursday with Shani, and then Gwen Peterson, the founder of the Spiritual Communities Network. And she is also the founder of Insights and Illuminations, and that is how she mentors and helps and works with people. And she is going to join us again on Friday, and we'll talk specifically about the Insights and Illuminations and how she works with people and helps them. So that's it. All righty. And thank you. Romeric is joining us. I know he comes from Africa. He says, thanks, Steve. Keep up the great shows. Thank you very much, Romeric. That's great that you're with us. We appreciate that. We are reaching different continents. All right. All around the world. All righty. Well, that's it. Have a great day. I will see everybody tomorrow.